Swastikas and profanities have been marked on the entrance to Poland's embassy in Israel. This is after Poland's Prime Minister suggested that Jews were among perpetrators of wartime atrocities, a comment slammed by his Israeli counterpart. The Polish PM says further dialogue with Israel about the Holocaust is necessary.
It's not going to be punishable, not going to be seen as criminal to say that there were Polish perpetrators, as there were Jewish perpetrators, as there were Russian perpetrators, as there were Ukrainian, not only German perpetrators.
The Polish Prime Minister's remarks here in Munich are outrageous. There's a problem here of an inability to understand history and a lack of sensitivity to the tragedy of our people.
The president of the Conference of European Rabbis also criticised the Polish leader's comments.
What was said by the Polish Prime Minister is totally unacceptable. To call Jews perpetrators of the Holocaust is unacceptable to any person who knows history, who knows Europe, and wants a better future. And we did not expect the Polish Prime Minister to say such things.
It all comes in the wake of a new Polish law that bans claims that the country collaborated with Nazi Germany during the Second World War. Specifically, the legislation prohibits references to wartime Nazi death camps in the country as Polish. Those violating the law face up to 3 years behind bars. An advisor to the Polish president defended the legislation, claiming that Israelis are ashamed of their own role.
Anti-Polish sentiment in Israel comes from the feeling of shame at the passivity of the Jews during the Holocaust.
More than 3 million Jews lived in Poland before the Second World War. 85% were killed during the conflict. Around 1 million Jews were killed in the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp, built in Poland under Nazi occupation. Former US diplomat Jim Jatras says the problem is both Poles and Israelis view history solely from their own perspective.
Well, look, I think what we have here is a clash of nationalisms that obviously the Israelis and the Jewish people see the events of World War II through the lens of their suffering, what happened to them, and the people in Poland have a somewhat different recollection of it based on their understanding and their suffering and the millions of Poles that died during the war. And I think this is rather unfortunate that they would be conflicting in this way, how they recall things. Poland, I think the main point Poland is trying to make is that they were victims of the Nazis, that these were not Polish death camps, they were German death camps set up in occupied Poland. And even though there were collaborators among many of the nations of Europe of various sorts, that Poland should not be blamed for the existence of these camps.